Come on, put yourself together, fix your hair, first thing in the morning, let's go. Good morning, everybody. It's a beautiful day. We've got sunshine, blue skies. It's a little chilly, that'll be okay. And it's not windy. We're gonna go spread some lime this morning. We're combining beans here later today. We're gonna do this plot and try and get a good day of getting stuff done in. Alright, well, we got our tractor taken over there. Phil picked me up, take our spreader over. We got just a little bit left from the last field. There's 3 semi-loads of lime piled in this field. Not all of it goes in the field that we're in, but some of it goes in the fields next door that we haven't combined yet. So we will spread what we need to spread and leave the rest there for later, but at least we'll have it done. And this one's getting chicken litter. There's a couple of piles in there, that field, that I'm going to text them and tell them they can come and spread that. And when they get here, and then we'll get it worked in. We can go ahead and load her right up now because we got a lot to spread in this field. The majority of these 3 piles, like at least 2 of them, go in this field. So we can use big loads, and we've got her calibrated to the point where I'm pretty confident in our spreader, and we don't need to worry about pan testing or anything. And let's just load her up and go. Well, there we go. Now we got a load on there. Let's see. You think we're overloaded? Might be. I don't know. I'm gonna see what the scale says. Oh, there's room in the front corners yet, and the back corners. Nah, that's a good load. Over capacity, 33,320. Yeah, okay, we're a little heavy. 28,000 is technical capacity, so it's going right here. We'll spread it out. All right, so here is our script. Yeah, you can see there's a lot of black over here. That's zeros. But the red, orange, and green zones right here are what we got to do. We're sitting right in this corner, so we're just going to start here, going back and forth. We may have to perimeter it a little bit, but yeah, this is going to test out the variable rate capability of our spreader and just let her do its thing. Cool. Focus. Well, it's working. There, we're out of the zone where we're not applying. But there's more on the far end, I think. Let's see. Do we got a big picture? Yeah. So we'll have more up here. A couple of different rates. Just let it do its thing. At some point, I'll wash the windows for you guys. Is that gonna help? Nope. Let's see. Where's it gonna turn on? Up here a little bit. Right here. There it goes. Cool. It's doing its job. We'll get this used up pretty quickly. Running 9 miles an hour across the field. Probably could go a little faster if I wanted to. There we got a rate change. Cool. All working. Well, our bin's not empty yet, but it's getting close. Hopefully we'll finish this pass, and then we'll go fill her up. It says we got 2,800 pounds left there. The scale says we got 2,900 pounds left, so we're really close on our rates and everything. I'm happy with that. We got 17 acres done on that load almost. That's pretty good. Good deal. Got our second load. I didn't fill it quite as full this time. It says we're at 28,200 or something. We're right at capacity of the spreader, so that's good, although it does still say over cap. I don't know how you set the capacity in the scale. I'll have to see if I can read in the manual and figure that out. Not a big deal. It doesn't really matter, but that's about what we're supposed to have on there. This green zone here, I know you can't really see the colors, but it's at a 3,000 pound rate. It makes the lime disappear in a hurry. And this is just my second round since we reloaded, and we're already half gone. So, yeah, that's a high rate zone, or a relatively high rate. On another note, I was just checking the comments on today's video from yesterday. We got to issue a new segment here. Board review corrections. I made a mistake in my math yesterday. Well, I didn't make a mistake. My spreadsheet made a mistake because I didn't program it right. When I entered in the agronomic or the input cost on my high management trial, I just changed the spreadsheet from last year and it changed the total, and I assumed everything was good. But I didn't actually double check it. Some of you guys did, and there was a couple of line items that were not included in the total. So if I remember at the end of this video, I'll print a new sheet and we'll go over it again. But I was off a little bit. It's still paid, but the break even was closer to 30 bushel the acre instead of 20 bushel the acre. So sorry, my mistake, was not intentional. This takes a lot of loading and refilling. We got our fourth load loaded up. We got 2 piles totally used up and pulled a little out of the third one there. I don't know if this will finish the field or not, but it'll be pretty close. Well, looks like we're gonna make it. We're not quite to the edge. We'll have a half a pass, which is a full pass because you can't do half passes, so we'll fill that in, but there should be enough product left in the spreader to do that. They're not full passes here. We don't go all the way down. Yeah, you can kind of see that. Filling in that red spot there. And we got this field done. So we covered a big portion of the field here on the east side of it. And now we can get them to spread the chicken litter. I'll show you when we get back up there. So up there you can see the chicken litter pile. So that's gonna all get spread out here. So this field will go to corn next year. Obviously the lime we're using to correct the soil pH. Kind of in a soil amendment. It doesn't actually feed the plants a lot, although the calcium kind of does, I guess. But our nutrients are really in that pile up there. That's the chicken litter. It's got lots of phosphorus and potassium and nitrogen, organic matter, some other stuff in it. So that's what we use for the fertilizer. There's another pile in the other corner of the field. And as soon as they come and get that spread, we will get the ripper here and get all this worked in. But this one's ready to go. The rest of the lime that's over there on our pile actually goes on that field and the one across the road. It was just convenient to have them pile it there, and those fields are close enough and there's not that much. I think it's going to be just one load on each of those fields, so no big deal. So we'll come back and get that after we get those beans out. There, we're done. We got 4,700 pounds left in the spreader, so we're just about right. That'll work. I have no interest in spreading that chicken litter ourselves. It might go through this spreader, but I think it would bridge up and be a problem and not spread real well. And they come and do it. It's all included in the price of the litter, so I have no reason to do it myself. All right, well, we're done with that field. We do have some lime to spread across the road in that wheat stubble yet. Dad worked the tile lines down again yesterday. Oh, left my flashers on. So we could go and do that anytime, but I also have some fertilizer that needs spread there, and I don't have that yet. So it isn't like we'd be able to work it or anything if we did. But yeah, we could do that. I might do some of that here this morning yet if I get time, but I got to get my tractor back here. We'll see. But yeah, there's the pile. Most of it goes on the back end of that field. All right, so I just got a phone call from my Golden Harvest sales rep. He's not feeling the best today, so he's not gonna be able to make it up to help me with the plot. So we're gonna go down there to the seed warehouse and the end of the plot where everything is labeled and start writing down some notes and just make sure that we've got everything ready to go. I can harvest it myself. It's not a big deal. But he was always really good at, keeping track of what variety we were in and getting everything written down good. So I'm gonna get a clipboard and a spreadsheet or a piece of paper so we can take some notes on some different varieties, make sure I've got them all written down in the right order, and get all the information that we need so we have good data from the plot. Okay, so we're gonna start down here. We're gonna walk down and go through the signs and the stakes and make sure that we write all of them down. We've got some agronomic trial stuff down there that I need to write down and make sure I know what those are. And then we can kind of pull the signs out, lay them along in the grass or out of the way at least, and we'll have everything ready to go. All right, well, I got all of the stuff written down, pulled all the signs. The variety trials, I just laid the signs in front. The rest of them, I took all the stakes in. I'm going to pick up the bottom halves here, but that way we've just got them for reference. Everything matched the stakes. Everything is good there. So I know some of you are disappointed that I did not do my plot tour videos where we walk through and talk about all the varieties and stuff on the bean or the corn plot this year. That had a lot to do with the fact that I wasn't allowed to say Golden Harvest at the time when I usually make these. I am now, and I had considered going through and making a plot tour video. That never actually happened. Now's my last chance. We're not going to do a whole big long thing like I normally do, but let's just walk through them. We'll talk about a couple of the ones that are kind of important to me real fast. We'll go through this stuff before they're gone and we can't look at them anymore. So we do have 6 rows of buffer over here that we need to take off before we start to plot. This is our first entry. They are the 2292s, the 2-2 bean that I really, really like. This is what was in the field over there behind the barn where we started. This is a bean we had at our farm at Berkey last year that was all outstanding. For a 2-2, which is as early as we plant, they have been phenomenal bean. Now we'll see how they do in the plot here. I think some of the fuller season stuff is going to be a little bit better, but yeah, this one has been excellent. I know that in the state of Michigan, this is like almost half of the forecast of what the entire company is going to sell in the state of Michigan. Just a huge bean for Golden Harvest here. So I like it. It's worked well for me. We're getting towards the south end of its zone, I would think, but I do know of guys way farther south that are planting them with success as well. Next up here, 2674s. This was a new one last year, or really this is the first year that we've seen it. It was in the plots last year. It's a really tall bean. That's what I've noticed, especially in the fields where we've been combining these so far. And they've been really, really good as well. We had a field of these that we combined down the road here a couple weeks ago that were awesome beans. I had a field of these 7 or 8 miles to the east here that were not quite as good, but they were planted later and they were in a different area. And I think that it was a rainfall and planting date type of scenario. But this 2.6 so far is a really good bean. It's nice and tall. I like that. They don't stay too short, so you can get them in the combine really good. That works well. The next one here is 2745 XF. This is a brand new bean for 2025. This is the first look I've got at it in the plot. You can see what I can see. I don't have a lot of information about these. They got really tall on the end here, which most all of these varieties got really tall on the end, and then they dropped way off, and we've got a compaction layer or kind of right through those ends there, and it's because of how we harvest this and how we farm it and stuff. Like I never run over this end, but I run over right there a lot, and we got to try and fix that. But it's like this every year, so kind of can see how the beans handle the stress. These ones definitely dropped off, and then they pick up again out there. We'll know more when we combine it. Next up is the 2775. Again, it's a new bean. This is an enlist bean that's new for 2025 for next year, so we've got this look in the plot. I did get 1 box of these that we've got planted over in a field around a corner. We haven't harvested yet, so we'll get a little bit more of a look at them. I don't have much information. They look fine. 2814, new one a year ago. We planted a bunch of these this year. Another super tall bean, really good. This bean has been really, really good. I remember this one standing out in the plot very early in the year. It got off to a really good start. I remember looking out the window of the office down there and looking straight out at a variety. I'm like, ooh, which one is that? That one looks really good. And you come down here and, oh, yeah, it was the 2814. So excited for this one. We've got more of them to combine as well and should be really good. 2884 XF. I did not plant any of these. I think they might have been in the plot last year. I'm not real sure. Still got some green leaves out here on this one, I see. But I'm sure the beans are quite dry. Definitely tailed off in the stress spot, but tall where they're not in that. So I don't know. We'll find out more on that one when we harvest it. 2925 XF, again, a new one for 25. So if you're noticing a theme here, every bean we've looked at so far, except for the very first one, has been new either last year or this year in 24 or next year in 25. So lots of new genetics coming on the Golden Harvest side of stuff here. So again, same thing. I don't know much about it because it's brand new. We're learning as we go here. 3023. This one here has sort of surprised me in the plot based on, how crappy it kind of looks there. It did not handle the stress well, but this bean has performed really well for us for the last couple of years. This is the variety that I planted in my March beans way back there that look fantastic and have branched out like crazy, and they look really good. So I don't think they're going to be very good in the plot here, but they certainly look good in the field, and we'll learn more. Now the next one so I said the 2814 stood out. This one has stood out almost all year. Why is my phone doing that? What's going on here? Sorry, guys. All right, that's better. So this one stood out all year. This one is a new one for next year, the 3035. Again, I got one box of these we planted in a field that way. We have not gotten to yet. But they were just bigger. They were taller. They were greener. They just looked better all year. Didn't stand out quite as much early as the 2814, but these ones, once we got into July, were just looked better, and they still look better, and they handled the stress better. And this one I am really, really excited about. I think we're going to plant a whole lot of these for next year. Obviously, the data that we get off of this plot here today will help me make that decision a little bit, but I'm not going to base everything based off of that. You never base all your decisions off of one plot in 1 year in one location. That's a bad idea, but it does give us at least some kind of an idea of how things are going to go. So yeah, this one looks really good. I am super excited about it. So as we move into the full season beans here, I don't really know. Oh yeah, there's one of them that I planted before. 3225 XF, a new one for 25. We're going to learn a little bit on this one. They look pretty decent. I think they'll be okay. 3373. We've had this one for a couple years. This is a great enlist bean. We've had them out for, well, I didn't plant any of them this year, but I did last year. And they were good. They did get a little bit of white mold in them, I think, last year, which may be why I shied away from them this year, some. But yeah, really good bean if you're sticking with that enlist platform right there. The reason that I shied away from them, other than the little bit of white mold, was because I had a fantastic 3-4 bean, the 3442s, that we planted instead, and I can only do so much of these full season ones here, so I went with that 3-4 because it had won the plot like 3 years in a row before that. Problem with that 3442 is it is discontinued and I can't get it anymore. So we have a 3445 XF that is sort of slated to replace that. That's what we've got here. We will see whether or not these can compete, and they're as good as the 3442s were. They look pretty decent. They're definitely brown. These were green a week ago, so they've really dried down or lost a lot of leaves in the last few days. There's a few green ones out there, but moisture may be high on these. We're going to take them off anyway because we're not leaving a couple of passes. You know, we're going to plant wheat in this field, so we got to get this finished up and get them harvested here. So, and then the last one is a new 3-4 enlist bean, the 3415. Agronomist Wade has talked these up really, really high, and we'll see. It's your 3-4's pushing the maturity for me. I'll plant them, but you can't do a ton of them. So they look nice. They're tall. They seem to be potted well. We'll find out. So that's it for variety trials. We then have some seed treatment stuff here with a new treatment, Saltro treatment, our base Cruiser Max Apex treatment, untreated, a Corteva competitive treatment, a Bayer competitive treatment. So we'll find those out. They didn't give me a ton of that seed, so we've only got 4 rows of each. I don't know if that's going to be enough to get actual harvest results, and I don't know if there'll be enough beans in the grain tank to actually weigh enough different to be able to tell anything from that. So we'll figure that out. We'll try and combine them, see what we get. And then we have a population study here, agronomic population study. This strip was only planted at 60,000 plants per acre, seeds per acre. That's really, really low planting population. And we'll walk out here a little bit and see if we can see any differences in these. So you can just see the spacing between these plants. There's a lot of space. They branched out pretty nice. I've done this before, mostly in 30-inch rows, and the 60K has actually yielded pretty well. They've done just fine. So that's what we've got here. And then right here, that gap down there, is where we switched to 100,000. So we planted these at 100,000 plants per acre. And then we come down past this next gap and we're at 140,000 plants per acre, which would be closer to what we would normally plant, maybe even a touch light yet in 15-inch rows. And then we go past the next one and we go all the way up to 180,000. And these look fine too, but you can see how much closer together the plants are. And at 180,000, you planted 3 times as many plants out here as that first strip. So your seeding cost is 3 times as much. And we'll see if there's enough yield difference or any yield difference to cover that seeding cost, because that's significant. Just for rough numbers on that seeding cost deal, let's just say, you know, you're 60,000, you're planting roughly half of a unit. Say you're around $30 an acre for seeding cost, and at 180,000, you're all the way up to $90 an acre. So that's, you know, that's $60 an acre is not nothing. Like, it takes a lot of beans to make up for that. So it makes sense to kind of see that, you know, we're trying to drop populations on beans because it helps reduce disease pressure and just kind of can make things easier. The problem is that if you don't get a decent stand in the spring and you have poor emergence conditions, only dropping 60,000, you're already behind, and then you got to replant, and that's no fun, and nobody wants to do it. So we'll see what happens out here. All right, we have made it to a combine. I had a meeting with my Anderson's agronomist from some of the foliar stuff that we've been using, just kind of going over the year and how things went and talking to them a little bit. So that was good. They brought me lunch. Thank you. And now it's time to go do a plot. So we're gonna pull over here to the field. Dad's bringing our head over to the field where we can hook up to it. We'll have to do a little bit along the outsides so we can get to the plot, and we will get started. All right, well, we're into some beans. So we got to do these 20 feet at a time. This first one is just our buffer, so we're not actually weighing this, but it's getting us set up for the next one. So combine this off. There is a little bit on the other side. We could do this too as well. Might go in. Yeah, we can save those to the end. Won't worry about them right now. We'll get started with our plot, and I'll show you the process as we go here. So we're harvesting off these entries. This is the third one here. I don't even know what the variety is. 2.7, I think, Extend Flex, maybe, I don't know. It's on my sheet. It's on the upside down clipboard down there. But essentially, we harvest our 20-foot half header width. Keep that point in the wide row over there, and then we get up here to the end. 27.45. That was that number. Roll back out of here, and we go unload. All right, so before we unload, we open up our little sample door on the combine, and we take our official sample gathering container. We reach down in there and fill it up. Good enough. And then we dump it into a bag with the variety number written on it. Well, we're getting there. It's going to take a while. Slow process. I'm out of bags, but I got a bunch more in the seed warehouse, so I thought I'd walk in here and grab them while I'm close. The beans still seem a little wet. According to the combine, they're 15, 16 yet, so be patient. Be patient. Just get this done, and then we'll go somewhere else, and we'll actually cover some ground today, at least a little bit. But tomorrow and the next day are going to be our big days. We're just screwing around with the plot here, and then we got 30 acres down the road that we're going to go and get before we move to the big group of 220 acres. So we'll get there. It's fine. Last one of the variety trials here. We're on our 3-4 beans, the 3415. They're tall compared to some of the other ones anyway. See how they do. All of them have basically been 17% moisture according to the combine. We'll see what the moisture tester says, but they're a little wet, so helps me be patient. But yeah, we'll get this one done. I'm going to set all these samples out on the grain cart track and see if I can get a hold of Phil. Maybe he'll come and test those for me while we do the seed treatment and population trial stuff over there. Like I said, on the seed treatment one there are only 4 rows. I don't know that we are going to get enough beans to be noticeably different and be able to get any kind of a rating from that. I don't even know if I'll be able to grab a sample from that, so we'll see what we get. Yeah, that's what we got. There are a few beans in there, but let's see if it adds up to anything that we can really measure. It takes a long time doing 4 rows at once. That was the last of the seed treatment trials though, so we got those done. I had to climb in the grain tank to get samples. We're getting like 350-ish pounds. I don't know. We'll see if the results make any common sense or not, but there's some result there, I guess. So, and I picked up a rider. Tell everybody hi, Rylan.
Hi.
You got home from school. How was school today? Can you get my pen for me? Thank you. Okay, well, now we've got seeding rate. We got 4 seeding rate trials to do, and then we're done here. I don't know. Finally, we've made it to the last strip in the trial, the 180,000 seeding rates on the soybeans. So we'll get this one harvested and our sample taken, and we're going to finish the last little strip there, be done with this field. We'll have to go test all our samples and stuff and get our data, and then we're going to move and head down the road. So you can see the yield map up there. None of it really means anything because when you're running at half capacity or even less, when I was doing the seed trials, the yield monitor is not necessarily real accurate. That's why we weigh them, not just use the yield monitor. And yeah, it has taken me 2 hours to do this, though. It has not been a fast process, so ready to be done here. All right, well, we got all of our results. They're all written down on there and everything. Rylan has been like, can I ride my go-kart through the field now? So he's out having fun, just fine. Oh, we're getting ready to move to the next field here. Dad's gonna bring the head, Phil's gonna bring the cart, I'm gonna take the combine. Don't worry, we'll make sure we fold that top down. We won't be hitting any overpasses. All in good fun, guys. All in good fun. All right, we're getting started in our next field here. This one, we have this nice low wire to deal with. There'll be no going under it, so we go up to it, combine under it with the head, and then come in from the other side to get the rest, because we don't fit. Getting the field opened up, or, well, we've kind of got it. This is an odd-shaped field. This is maybe our worst beans. They were the last planted. They're 2-2 maturity. They're kind of away from most of the rest of them, and we may have missed some rains here. We'll see. Not a great farm. Could use some tile. Lots of trees around it. It's cut up into little pieces, and it's just typical for, you know, not a great farm. You can see the shape of it here. So we've got like a ditch that cuts through here, and then it comes back around, and it comes over here. There's a fence row along this side. That's what those trees are. And so we got to fill it in. There is some decent stuff back in here. This should be good up over here and what we're filling in now. I mean, they're good beans out in the middle here. Nobody complaining about 74, 75 bushel beans, but our field average is at 53 because of all the ends, the trees, the woodchuck damage that was along the ditch over there. There's what it is. So there is 31 acres here. 28 of them are in this field. So yeah, we got these 2 little triangles here. Those are our little 1 to 1.5 acre pieces. They're the smallest stuff that we've got. So we'll just get this stuff all while we are here. Plan is to put wheat here. Kind of was a last minute call. We weren't going to, and then decided we needed a few more wheat acres, and this was the spot that we decided to plant it. So it's kind of why we're here now, getting these beans, because we want to get them before we move. We got some farms 6-7 miles south of here that are also going to wheat. There's 220 acres there that we're going to go try and get moved down there tonight and have a big day there tomorrow. Well, these beans are dry. Material is fully mature. There's no green out here yet. They're running through the combine really fast. They're dusty. We're cruising. 5.5 miles an hour, cutting nice, feeding in nice. They're not a real big plant. These 2-2s aren't the tallest bean that we've got, so there's not a lot of material with all the pods and everything. And so we can pump them through pretty quick. They're not great beans. They're not terrible beans. We might hit 60. We're real close. And 60 on this field that's pretty darn good. It's just disappointing because most of the rest of the beans have been better than this. So, yeah. We'll finish this field up. We've got, I don't know, another 2 rounds to do here, and then we're done with the big field, and we'll get them little triangles and try and get moved yet tonight. Dad's sitting down there in a pickup waiting for me to finish with the header cart, so we'll get there. 60.4, they made it. Whew. Whew. I was close. I was afraid we were going to have some 50-something bushel beans. It would just be the end of the world for us, wouldn't it? No, I'm joking. I'm joking. It would be fine. But I'll take 60. That's good. We'll sneak down the road here to get to our little triangle fields. Yep, the woodchucks got us here. Took out half a planter pass. Nothing. Bummer. We don't have enough acres in this field to make up for that. We aren't going to hit 60 here. 1.19 acres. 56.6. Worst beans we've had. All right, well, here's the last of them. Same woodchuck problem in these two. I don't know. There's the outlier. Ouch! Well, they made 40 at least. This field was worse. There's a lot more eaten beans along the ditch there, and then there was a giant wet hole in the corner over there where you can't see anything because of the sun, but there was nothing. Zeros hurt fast. So what do we have there? 1.51 acres. So anyway, we'll go get this unloaded and get moved. Oh, we made it. Sun went down on us, so I don't know how long we're gonna be able to work. You can see we got the dust hanging in the air. That's usually a sign that you're about done and it's gonna get tough. Now, these fields, so we've got this field, we've got that field, there's one behind us, there's another 2 across the road, and a couple more around the corner. There's about 220 acres here total. I don't remember exactly when these beans were planted. I will have to look that up. I don't think it was terribly late, but it wasn't super early. These are a 2.7, the 2722 XF, which the little bit of these that I have run so far have been the best beans that we have done. So that's good. I have high expectations. But we are 10 miles southwest of our home farm, and we missed most of the rains here this summer. It was much, much drier here. Now that said, these are big, tall beans. They look halfway decent, but I don't know if they are going to be very good. And judging by what I'm seeing so far, we're in for a way bad drop-off, or whatever you want to call it. I mean, 50s, low 50s. We're gonna have to change the scale on our map. 40s. Yikes, that's gonna hurt. We'll see when we get out into them, get off these end rows and stuff here. I imagine there are pockets that are gonna be really good, but yeah, these beans are not gonna be what we have seen everywhere else. And that's a bummer, because these are pretty good farms. We just missed all the rain here. We're gonna try and get a grain cart full, so at least we got a truckload to haul in the morning from down here. The elevator is only about 5 miles from here that we haul to, and so we contract these beans to go straight there in the fall rather than hauling them 10 miles that way to put them in the bin and then bringing them back. Just makes sense, right? So take a pass right down the middle here. Let's see what a round is going to average in here. Usually that's a pretty good indicator of what field averages will be. They'll be a little bit lower than that because you got to factor in the edges, but there's lots more of the middle of the field than there is edges. So right here they're good beans. 70, 65, 70. So I don't think we're going to hit 60 average just based on what I'm seeing so far, but hopefully we're in the high 50s at least. 55. That round right through the middle went 55. That's not great. Well, as we move toward the west there and fill in the middle, it gets a little better. The last round went 58, almost 58 and a half there. It's better. It's not great. The beans are a little potty. I think we got a lot of flat pods, and it's hard to get them broke open and get them out. So I'm not terribly concerned about it, because unless they're going to dock me at the elevator where we're taking these, it don't matter. But yeah, so clearly our grain cart is just about full here. My wife is on her way home from town. Anyway, she's driving by a half mile away down the main road that goes right by this farm, so she's going to stop and pick me up here in a few minutes. So we're going to shut her down and call it a night. We got some beans to haul from those other 2 fields we did today. We're going to haul in tomorrow and then come here, you know, kind of take them in on the way here, and see what we can get done tomorrow. Should be able to cover a lot of acres. I moved the grain cart over there, got it off the road, closed the combine up, got it locked, and my ride's here. So we're going home. Thanks for watching today. good day getting the plot done. I will get results for you probably tomorrow. I haven't seen them yet, the official results, so hopefully I'll be able to share those and get them posted to my seed business website tomorrow. These beans aren't going to be great, but hey, we'll take it. It is what it is, so hopefully we'll have a big day tomorrow, acres-wise. We'll get a lot done, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. Live stream. Look for a live stream tomorrow. Have a good night. Hi, childrens.
Hi.
How are you?
All day.
What?
I seen him today.
You see?
Yeah.
Yeah. How have you been?
Good.
How was school?
Good.
Good. All right.
I already told you about Mama.
You were with Mama?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm a dog.
Can you tell everybody bye-bye?